Hey, so here we go. We're gonna talk about our third-party design partners. You might see the acronym referred to as 3DP, or 3PD, third-party design. I'm going to give you just an example of how I go about using two of my favorites. And again, in the Adverlytics method, there's no need to spend a 12-month subscription on any of these. They're all pay-as-you-go monthly. The nice thing about a lot of them is they will provide you a template they've designed that's better than anything you can find in a Canva or anything online that you can download. And then you can reuse those pieces. You can swap in and out messaging for promotions, for any deals, any sales you have going on if you're an e-commerce company, any value brand call outs. What's unique, especially in the massive creative output approach, is that Meta and Google, but specifically Meta, will treat those ads differently, even if you change a couple things. So you move something around, it's a completely new entity, and it could just perform differently, even if you change minor things on it. So what's nice is that you like using these platforms to come up with stuff because they usually deliver it within 24 hours. They are experts, especially the design pickles of the world. They do a very, very good job. It's worth keeping them on, getting a ton of resources, get them designed in Canva, and then you can outsource that to Fiverr or any like Upwork contractors that can do it for a fraction of the cost. So first, let's start here with Doodle Space. It's one of my favorites lately. Um, so in Doodle Space, I was logged in. Let me go ahead and log in here. And for a shoe client I'm working on, I'm just going to give you an example of how we reverse engineered this. So uh, I will do another example, but for now, I just wanted to show you how I set this. So I want to say, okay, maybe there's, okay. So looking for some creative inspiration. Oh, that was the next. I'm going to edit out this part. And here we go. So we're looking at Claw ad design. We want to see how this ticket first began. So I was provided them a couple of things here. So I want to reverse engineer three ads that I found using Magic X is ad library. You can also just use meta ads as ad library. It doesn't matter. And then you can see the screenshot here. It's like, I like this. I just like the use of the whole right side space showing off the product, even though this one is, to be honest, not that great looking shoe, but I do like the ad. I like this too. This is from Hoka, which is a competitor of ours. Do a good job of just kind of, outlining the product, different styles. You can see the bottom, you can see the curve, you can see the arch support, you can see the tops. People like looking down at their feet. And then this one I like too from Real Foot, where this is the same design, but just incorporating the grass and everything. So I really, really like that. And then I gave them assets. So I was like, here are some AI assisted assets. That are basically from product suite and merchant center, which is outlined in a different video, how we can use our products and get these fantastic AI driven backgrounds. They go really, really well. And you can just get hundreds to thousands of ads very fast, and they're all AI driven and free. So I sent them that. I also sent them all of these raw product images that the client had shared with us, including stuff like Arch support. So they can use these if we ever need to call them out in an ad. So it's best to give as much raw assets as you can. I think that always is really helpful. So they gave us that, they reviewed the brief, and then within a day, they'd already provided two designs. So they're like, here's option one, two, three, and four. So those are great. Right away, they came up with something very similar based off of the raw assets I set. Here's, one of the actual AI driven ones I sent them. I like this. It really pops. It almost has that kind of Air Jordan from the 90s look to it. What's nice is Doodle Space and a lot of freelancers will work out of Google Drive where you can just go, oh, I want to change this, rotate this, change this up here to the logo, whatever it might be, which I'll provide in real time. I like these a lot. Pretty cool. Doesn't really fit the brand colors, but I like the design, so I'll add there and also playing around with this one. I like all four of these designs, but um, So I took a little bit of time off with my family, so that's why there had been 13 days that passed between there. So what I said was I liked option two much better than option one. They updated this. It was just option one and two, and I said I liked one, or I liked two better, so I wanted them to design three and four based off of. So you can see they took the shoes with benefits, kind of the style font I liked, and then went through and gave us four really unique examples that we'll play around with. And then once we approve any or all of these, we'll come back with the appropriate sizes. So these are 1080 by 1080. We'll get the 1200 by 628 and the 1080 by 1920, which are the three sizes that were needed to run functional ads on meta ads. So they sent it back and it came forward, boom, here. So um, that's basically as simple as that. I will provide a way to, there'll be a template that comes with Adverlytics that shows exactly how to go and find inspiration, which we can do right now. Oops, that's library. So if I am looking for inspiration, I am a shoe company. I want to go in and say all ads and look for walking shoes. I can just come in here and look for walking shoes, and I can see these filters and say, I want active ads, because if they're active, they're more likely that they're doing very well. Um, I can look in and see anything that's ranked as a walking shoe. In Meta, I can go and pick which advertiser I want to see, languages, if I want to do videos, image types, all that fun stuff. I'm going to look at impressions from the last, I'm going to look at March 03/01, 2024 through today. So here we go. Now I'm able to see all running ads. If we're using Magic X, which I won't run through, just simply won't, not needed right now. I can filter by performance, which I don't know how they get that data, but they do. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. So here we go. Now we see like, oh, these are pretty nice. So what you can do, if you like the ad, you like the inspiration, they kind of pop at you. I like the use of space with the product. I like the minimum font so they can tell a message. It doesn't get all confused with too much. Like here, it's like a, feedback or testimonial review ads tend to do very well. If it's too bombarded, if there's too much going on in an ad, people just tend to look right past. That's what I've seen. A lot of these are good. New arrivals for kids. We got a nice design here. It seems Lonza Shoes is spending a lot lately. They're popping up all over the place. So this seems to be live still, and it was launched last month. So this one might be doing pretty good. So if I click on all ad details, I get to see this full ad. I can engage with it. I can actually click through it with the Facebook Click ID, so I can actually register myself in their advertiser pool. But mostly what I will do is I'll take a screenshot of this and I'll send it to my designers and say, hey, I really like this. Here's my product ads. Let's reverse engineer it. Because some of these advertisers, they're pulling inspiration from big brands, and those big brands are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on research. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We're going to take what we know works and we're going to send it to someone. So I've done that with our shoe partner. This same exercise, I sent them that. I sent Hoka a lot because Hoka spends millions of dollars on advertising. So taking from there, I think is the most appropriate thing you can do. You're going to save a lot of time and effort by just grabbing any and all inspiration, saying make 5 of them, and you're going to roll them really quick. 80% of the ads we put in market are going to be paused within 10 to 14 days because they're just not going to have our benchmark. When they don't hit our benchmark, we're going to pause the ones except for the ones that are performing great. And then we're going to go back and we're going to do this over again. So I like this too. Magical Shoes. It looks like this is running European Union, perhaps. No, never mind. They're just some reason they're provided transparency there. Maybe they did one person in Spain. It looks like they probably did it on accident. someone was in the account and, accidentally put in Europe. They only reached one person, they shut it down. But I like this. I like leading off with a question. Healthy is huge. So if we want to draw inspiration from the text as well, but mostly working. So I like this. I like the outline of a wide toe box, all these things that are important to my client as well. And then I'll look for a couple more pieces. This is way too busy. This is one of those things where, like, I don't know, there's a lot going on here. Our eyes are going to overlook all of these different images. So it's good to find ads that you don't want to play. Like some nice carousel. Carousel ads do well, but every time someone plays with a carousel, you're charged the same you would be charged for a click in Meta. So that's why I tend to use static images. Like, there's nothing wrong with a carousel that works the right way, but I don't want to get charged unless someone's actually interested in the product. I'll end up probably remarketing to someone if they're an engagement in the last 30 days, especially the last 3 to 7 days. That'll be a huge part of one of the asset groups that we set up. But it's not a bad ad in terms of the just like I like the use of emojis. It's obviously very clear everyone uses emojis anymore in their Facebook ads, but yeah, I think it's not the worst. I don't mean to beat up poor roll walk here, but this one I don't like it. I mean, it's just a guy shopping Black Friday, but yeah, there's Christmas in the background. I don't know, I just don't like that, and the algorithm probably doesn't like it either, but it's apparently still running and it was launched in November, so maybe it's doing better. I'm not sure. And here's the one, hey, this is the one I already pulled that I used in my example last. Oh, Lord. Too much scrolling going on here. But I used this ad in my example that I was just showing you. This real foot shoes. I just used this. So if I see the details, this is what I screenshotted and I sent this over these guys, and they came up with a really good job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I don't really like this one too much. I think it's a little bit too like athletic. Not that that's anything wrong with that, but we're not really aimed at athletes. We're aimed at like to be honest, people that are just can't find a comfortable walking shoe, people that work in industries, people in healthcare, people in restaurants. There's a lot there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave a note to them, like, let's skip this design for now. Thanks. I'm gonna move to this one. I really like this. So I'm gonna pause because I'm gonna go into my brand bot. Again, another ChatGPT awesomely designed and programmed bot that you can use. But I'm going to pull in inspiration and tell this exactly what I want it to be, right? So I'm going to say here, I'm going to say change to ultra. I'm going to change this to change to arch support. So ultra is just a nice, very serious adjective. Could use superior, but sometimes superior sounds like, oh, everyone's superior. Everyone has the best of the best. So saying ultra arch support is awesome. And we're going to say, let's change this buy now button because buy now is kind of it's like an old display ad type of thing. We already know if someone wants to buy now, they're going to buy. We don't need to tell them. Sometimes it works. To be honest, sometimes it doesn't. I'd rather use a client logo. I'm going to say change to client logo and move to the left side of the screen. So I like this in a way that I don't want to use too much right space. I want the eye to go full arch support. And then when I call the eye to go down and read left to right, I want it to be suddenly pulled over this direction. So now unconsciously, you're taking in the buildings, you're taking at the shadow. Your brain is now processing this whole thing in square by using the space better. We could leave it over here, but I want to utilize more clean space at the bottom and just utilize what they call the white space as best I can. So I like this ad. I'm going to have them continue with it. Looks pretty good. Same thing here. I'm going to say, let's change the green here to a dark sky, a dark like marble blue. So that's not really a brand color. They took a risk and I told them to, but because we use these uh two colors, I just don't think green, and it's not Easter. I don't think this goes well together. I don't mind the black here, and I'm going to have this change to Um, ultra arch support again. I could just say do the same as the old ad, but sometimes these people are working across so many ads. I just want to make it clear for them. Um, forward walking. So we're going to change the font and then we're going to change the text. And then right here, we're going to say super deep heel or super deep cut. Because that's one of the biggest brand call outs is they do have a very deep heel and that helps with like plantar fasciitis, any of these like foot problems that most cheap shoes end up causing. So that's it there. I like what they did. It's awesome. I already sent back. I made the comment. Awesome. Usually they come back very quick, and when they do, I will record a second part of this and see what they come back with, and then ultimately, when they come back with all of the assets, we'll record a third video. Now I'm going to kind of walk through Design Pickle, which is wonderful. I'm not going to do the whole thing that I just did with you just now. I'm going to instead show you how I provided inspiration for them to come up with a different clients like pay over time. So what's really nice about Design Pickle, and it's not meant to be a UX walkthrough because it is very easy. But if you use Design Pickle, it is stunningly simple and wonderful. When you create a new ticket, it literally guides you through what you do. If you're designing merchandise, if you're e-commerce and you do your own products in-house, awesome. They can design that for you. You can fire your designers because they're really good. They're the most expensive, but they are the top tier design platform, and I have used a lot of them. So you can create, social media graphics. In this case, we are going to go and we're going to create ads, the most used. You can use display ads. There's really not much difference, I don't think here. I'm going to go into ads and then it will give you this walkthrough here. So what you'll do, you can have AI assist you. It's remarkable. It's awesome. You can just type it in and then AI will actually tell you, we'll visit that in a second. But if you have a brand, which I do suggest you set up, if you're an agency, set up all your clients, give them the colors, give them the name. It's awesome. Select format. So I'm going to always ask for PNG and Canva. Sometimes it's okay to ask for PNG, and then when they're done with the design, then you ask for Canva. And why you do that is because some designers will still use um, Adobe Illustrator and they just have creative freedom there, and then they have to transfer that over to Canva. Sometimes if you ask for just a Canva output, it isn't as good. So first I ask for PNG and then I'll come back and usually make a comment, but you can ask for both. They're getting better at doing it. If you already work, you have someone on your team or something and you need to, I guess, I don't know, clip their bandwidth, you can always request that they do Photoshop if they work in Illustrator, whatever it might be. And they even have I forget what INDD is short for. I should know that. It's just not in the head right now. But let's say we do both, and we're going to add select sizes here. It will give us this library. If we want to do this with Google Ads too, we can. But we're always looking for that square. We're always looking for the story being long, and then we're always looking for this single image kind of wide. So those are always the three we're going to ask for, and then the name of the design, right? And simple as that, we're going to upload the same way we did with our other partner. We're going to take inspiration from the ads library and we're going to post it in here. We're going to upload the files, and then what's unique about it, if I upload a file, which in this case, I'll just upload, I don't know, it doesn't have to be, um, I'll just look at, let's say this. Um, boom. I can come in and say what I like about this. Please reverse engineer this ad and make it similar, but with my product. I know that seems simple, but when you do that, you just come in and click and when the designer comes in and they click on this, they'll be able to see what you're referring to. So you can guide your designers really well through this. And you can even add video. You can record a loom. You can drop the loom in here. You can say, um, please, please see loom link. Feel free to use this verbatim or feel free to use this just as creative inspiration. You hit save, ask me questions. I'm not gonna, and I think the best thing you can say is please design the 1080 by 1080 first, and then after approval, we can move on to other sizes. So what this does is it saves your designer time, saves you time to review just one versus three different sizes. And 1080 is the most served on Meta ads. It's the most served in Instagram and Facebook. It's the square image. Everyone sees that most. Reels is getting bigger, great awareness play. A lot of people are going through Reels, through stories, and they get served the ad, the long vertical ad, but that doesn't convert as well. So that's still going to be shown. It's important to design, but it's better to just have your designer like come up with 4 to 5 new versions, and we'll narrow it down to, let's say, 2 for now. What's nice is like that's more designed for them, but that's going to make their brain go, oh, I have to do 5 of these. Most of the time, the first 2 they spit out are going to be the best, and the other 3 might not be as good. But you're challenging them to not just do 2 and click off a ticket. I know that sounds crazy, but they're already good with you. But when you design this, they're going to know, it's only 1080 by 1080. I don't have to do 3 versions. If I'm asking for 4 or 5 versions and 3 different design styles, that's 15 new ads for them. That's a little bit hard on the brain sometimes. So if you just tell them, hey, let's do just 4 or 5 versions of whatever you can see inspired. Sometimes they'll come back with 3 or 4. Not that they're ignoring it, but they're just going to be like, I need a little bit more direction. Here's the 3 I thought of. Like, can you tell me if you like which 2, which one, and then I'll inspire the rest of my designs. And sometimes they'll just move some elements around, but that's okay. That's what we want. So this is basically how you do it. You send to the designer. You can even look in their stock stuff. It's wonderful. They have their own thing here, and they have Adobe. They have a ton here, so that's really nice. I'm going to go back. I'm not going to save this ticket because I just don't want to choke up the queue. I already have a lot in here, but I'm going to kind of walk you through really quick how I did that same process here. So in version 1, I did upload things that were very inspiring to this client, and I uploaded their logo. I uploaded shop pay. So what we saw was competitors with expensive products were doing a lot of pay over time. You might be seeing that a lot in the market. So I included, let's see a vital version of this. That's the client's name. Highlighting pay in 4. But I said this is I like to create this as well. Lorem ipsum is fine until we figure stuff out. And then I gave them a zip file of all of my assets. So they came back lorem ipsum, just as well, some lorem ipsum here, and said, this looks wonderful. This looks awesome. The thing they missed here was this isn't paid and, shop pay for easy payments focused, but it looks great. So they came back with these 2. I gave my notes back. 3rd revision came, not even a full day. Gave me another version similar to this one. I think they both are very different, very good looking. And then they gave me the other sizes too, just so I can see, because we didn't narrow down to these 2. They still kind of did not do the 4 payments here, but I have room to kind of guide them through that with the lorem ipsum, the text for now. So if this was the current version, I can come in and make an annotation, but since it's older, I have to keep going. So I did provide more details. I provided another note. It was like, we can't use therapy. I forgot our client. That was a big no-no. So I did want to go back and say that. And then finally, we finished with version 5. This ticket's closed, so I can't add anything to it, but we came up with everything. I had them change all the font styles from lorem ipsum to the actual messaging that works, and that was it. They came back with great designs based off of inspiration, and they did it within 3 business days. And these are some of the top performing ads right now because this is an expensive product. And it's really enticing for people to pay over 4 months with 0 interest oftentimes. So I hope that's helpful. I will follow up with another video like this once we get some stuff back from our partners. Thank you all.